Well, here we are again, once again. Like I tried to tell all the USC trolls that just wish me away and wish that we would just stop talking about how shitty Lincoln Riley is. I try to get away from it, and I'll be damned. Once again, every 2 weeks it seems, or every week, something new comes out about Lincoln and his shady character. This week, we got former Oklahoma players and current Oklahoma players saying the same thing in separate interviews in unison. And now we even got Lane Kiffin taking shots at old Tebow. Let's talk. And the hits just keep coming for old Linky boy. Time to grill us some more Linky. But before I get to all that, I'd like to say that I am JPC, and I am the OCF. That's the Outlaw of College Football, and this is the home of the Common Joe and the Common Sally. In the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. Do it twice. Now, getting right to it. The more I try to get away from Linky, as I say every time I have to do one of these, the more something comes up to put him out there. And it's been going on 3.5 months, maybe about 3 months since Linky boy left Oklahoma in a slithering snake type way, as a lot of them like to call him Tebow now. Tebow left in a snakish type way. And ever since then, things have been coming out about him, his character, and a bunch of other things. Well, the other day, I got a list right here. It's like roll call today. Oklahoma's way. See, I watched this video the other day about Jeremiah. His name's Jeremiah Hall. He's a tight end halfback from Oklahoma. And he done the whole coach speak, the politically correct way of saying things, and said that Lincoln was a good coach and he wasn't going to talk ill of him because Lincoln gave him his opportunity at Oklahoma. Then as the interview progressed, Jeremiah gave me some enlightenment. He might have inadvertently did it, but he basically said that the most impressive thing that he thought about Brent Venables and the new staff was the fact that they actually acted like they cared about the players and getting them extra benefits legally getting them extra benefits that they could get from the Oklahoma administration. Whereas Lincoln Riley obviously was not go to bat and butt heads with the compliance staff and the administration to fight for these players. Once again, in a legal way. These are opportunities that Lincoln could have done and took to give these players certain extra benefits that were legal under NCAA guidelines, and Lincoln just would not go to bat for them, from what I gathered from Jeremiah Hall. And the list goes on. Marquise Hayes, the offensive lineman. Perion Winfrey. Brian Asamoah. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. I might have butchered that. Nick Bonito, who I've already talked about. Kennedy Brooks, Tyrese Robinson, and Delaron Turner Yell. May have butchered that name as well, but it's a cool-ass last name. But those players all have been interviewed over the past few months, and the same consistent description of Lincoln Riley and some of the attributes of his personality keep coming to the forefront, and all these players are being interviewed separately. So this ain't something that was planned. This ain't something they got together and decided they would, take a backhanded swipe at Lincoln. As a matter of fact, these players, a lot of them played for Lincoln their whole career at Oklahoma, and they had nice things to say, but it'd always come out. There'd always be that little inkling, like you saw with Jeremiah Hall, where it seems like Lincoln was all in it for himself. And most coaches are, let's be honest. But you've got to have a modicum, or at least, I'd say at least a 70 to 80% percentage of your personality that cares about these players to the point where you look like that you would go to bat for them in most situations, especially situations that could enable you to have extra benefits that are legal under NCAA guidelines. But yet Oklahoma, a lot of their players have been saying that Lincoln didn't feel like he fully went full on in to try to give players the most they could get out of the University of Oklahoma and the most benefits that they could receive from the University of Oklahoma and its compliance staff and the administration. And that's a huge problem, because if you get out to USC, you're in a big town like Los Angeles, you're probably going to have a lot more prima donnas that need their personalities and their psyches babysitted and taken care of, more so than you would from the hard-working blue-collar types that play at Oklahoma. And even the offensive players that Oklahoma's had in the past, they may have been considered prima donnas, but they always had that tinge of the hard-working blue-collar personality, it would seem. So I think he's going to have a lot of issues out in USC if he don't change his ways. If he don't start acquiescing a little bit and trying to at least pretend that he cares about players' wants and needs, he's going to go like, I'd say, like the Dennis Franchione way, like I've said many times. He might have a successful year the first year or so, but then I think it's going to progressively get worse if he can't get some of his personality quirks in check. Now, another person that's calling him out is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is not shy about getting on Twitter and saying what he feels and saying what he means. And I like that about Lane Kiffin. A lot of people don't like it. Lane is a little promiscuous. He does do some shady stuff from time to time. But for the most part, Lane's out there with it. Lane don't hide it. Lane will tell you what he is and what he's going to do and what he means. Whereas, Lincoln's a little more of a political type person. He likes to hide shit. So, basically, Lane took a shot at him. He was posted his house. He had like five garages for his cars, 12 bathrooms, yada, yada, yada. And Lane said, "Did anybody tell you about California taxes?" In fine Lane fashion. So, it's not just Oklahoma people that are taking shots at this guy. That's what people need to understand. The USC people out there that are getting pissed off about it, that have been on my podcast and trolling my comments, it ain't just Oklahoma fans. I'm not an Oklahoma fan. It may seem like I am because I've been doing a lot of pro-Oklahoma videos, but people like me that are fans of other teams like Alabama, and then you have Lane Kiffin, who's an Ole Miss coach that used to coach at USC, so he might have a vested interest in taking a shot there. But you just have people after people after people professing and saying, and maybe not coming out and being blatant about it, but they're making little hinting like red flag comments about Lincoln Riley's personality and the fact that sometimes he may not go to bat as well as he could for his players and his staff. And that's all I got to say about that. You guys and gals tell me what you think about the situation. Do you think that Lane Kiffin's getting a little more heat than he deserves? Do you think that maybe this is overblown? Do you think that it's not overblown and he's just a good old Tebow? That's the bitch out west. And with that, I'm going to get off here. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And as always, KMCA to all the other teams.